Well, all began when I was probably, I'd say, Hutchie was my first boys club team. I was there for quite a long time. Then went on to Rangers Football Club, obviously. It was a youth initiative scheme. And then ended up going down to England, trialling at quite a lot of clubs, and decided that Man City was the best option for myself to pursue a footballing career. And as I say, that was at 15-year-old I moved down to England, so quite a young age. Left my mum and dad, obviously, lived in Diggs for a while, which was fun and games living with other lads. But as I say, it was really enjoyable. Great experience. Learned so much from great people, great individual players. Some of my friends have gone on to go on and play at a very high level and have achieved great things in football. So it's been good to see them obviously progress with their careers.
Just some of the guys that you would say are up there that you've had been fortunate enough to play with?
My youth team was very good. In reserve team we had Casper Schmeichel and Joe Hart as our two goalkeepers. Micah Richards, Neda Manua, with Stephen Ireland, Michael Johnson, Daniel Sturridge, Ishmael Miller. So a lot of boys that went on and obviously went on to have great international careers as well. So as I say, the club down there were fantastic. The club relied a lot on youth players at the time, which was one of the main reasons why I went to that football club at the time. I felt it was...
Did you have a few offers?
I did have a few offers, yeah. Other clubs in England at the time. It was very close between a few other Premier League clubs, but for myself it was just, they made me feel very welcome. And as I said at the time, I felt that was the best opportunity for me to break into a first team.
What were the clubs vying for your attention?
Man United, Leeds United, Everton, Blackburn. I had quite a lot of clubs that were monitoring me and obviously keen for me to join them. But as I said, Man City were the one that really went out their way for me, and I felt, as I said, that they were the best opportunity to play first team football.
Were you able to mix much with that, with these particular players, or did they go out their way to kind of give you any nuggets of advice that would kind of serve you well going forward?
Everyone was really good at the club, Obviously, when I first went, we were at separate training grounds, a place called Platt Lane. The first team would train at Carrington, so we would go up there as a youth team, and sometimes you may get called across with the first team, but eventually I was lucky enough to then move up and become a reserve player, and obviously be training with the first team in that environment every day, learning from outstanding international players. We had Anelka, Sean Wright-Phillips, Steve McManaman, Robbie Fowler, players that had played at such a high level, Andy Cole, another one. They were all very good, as I said, they never made you feel you weren't part of it, even though if you were a young boy, they would still integrate you with everybody. It was a really good setup, on the manager, Kevin Keegan was very good with me as well. He was very good with the youth as well, and then obviously when he left, Stuart Pearce came along, and again very proactive with the youth again, and that was when I started to feel that I had more chance of breaking into the first team. Travelled a lot with the club to games, involved a few times on the bench with the first team, literally towards the end of Stuart Pearce's time at the club. And as I said, he said to me that the year that he got sacked, the last game of the season, I was on the bench against Tottenham, and he said to me, next year will be your year. And then on a Monday morning he was sacked, so it changed. We then had a new owner that came in, and he appointed Sven-Goran Eriksson, so again, totally a massive name in world football. But as I said, the money kind of changed. It started to then, they were going for spending big fees on players, Alano, Rolando Bianchi, so they were going international players and they had a bit more money to spend, and it kind of teetered away from being involved and feeling I had a chance to go, and I thought I need to get out on loan and play some games, and that's when I ended up going on loan to Port Vale, which served me really well. I really enjoyed playing there, but at the time my reserve manager was Kenny Jackett, who at the time said to me that he was getting the Millwall job and he'd like to come for me in the January window, so that's where I ended up going, and that was my next move, and that was an amazing thing. some amazing experiences playing at Wembley, getting promoted to the Championship. You know, it was.
You were there, what, 4 years, made 92 appearances for Millwall?
Yeah, it was probably my most enjoyable time in football, there in Man City. But playing league football, men's football, as you would say, and learning again, just totally different environments, the crowd, it was phenomenal, eh? Some of the atmosphere, some of the games, I played in some big games against West Ham, Leeds United, a lot of big clubs that were rivals at the time, and as I said, the atmosphere was electric inside the grounds.
I mean, that leads me on to my next question, because obviously when you hear about Millwall and the fans and, you know, the expectations of them, and then you say you're then pitched up against West Ham, massive game, with all the other stuff that goes with it. I mean, how does that feel?
Loads of people ask me this about playing in front of big crowds and things, you know. When I played at Wembley, I think there was almost 60,000 at the game. You kind of don't experience the noise around you because you're that focused and the adrenaline's pumping that much that you kind of, when the play stops, you probably hear more, but you're in the zone, you know, your mind's focused. Obviously you've got a job to do, and what's going on around you, you probably think as a fan that you probably, the players will hear it all, you know. You might hear the odd, when you give the ball away, but generally when the game's on, you know, you're just totally focused on trying to get the end result, which is to win.
And the players, I mean, you know, are these quite tasty for the players? Because also, you know, if the fans are looking forward to it, the players are equally so as well. So, you know, there's a few tasty challenges going on out there as well that you just got to keep your wits about you. Yeah,
it was good. You had some great battles. Remember Leeds at the time had young boy Fabian Delph, not young anymore, but he was very tenacious, loved the tackle. But as I said, we had boys in our team, we had a lot of experienced boys, Neil Harris, David Ford, boys that were big personalities. As I said, men really. We were young boys, I was 22 and 23-year-old, and it was just the buzz for me, you know. These were proper men that were telling us, look, it's going to be a tough game tonight, you know, let's get right stuck into this tonight. And as I said, they were great as well, you know, very experienced. Chopper Harris, we called him, Neil Harris, he was one of the best I've played with, you know, very clever, could work the crowd as well, get the crowd going at the den when we needed it to happen. He was just very good, a leader, maybe not the captain, but he was a leader on the pitch, and as I said, very good to play with.
Yeah, and again, you looking at the career that you then go on to, you played at Southend for a couple of years as well, 48 appearances for Southend. You know, what was your journey there, and who took you there?
It was Paul Sturrock, another big name in football. Still speak to him now, he's a great man, got a lot of time for him, really enjoyable to play with. I went on loan at the time, I wasn't playing regularly at Leyton Orient. I got a phone call from him to ask me would I be interested in coming down to Southend. He tried to sign me before and I decided to sign for Leyton Orient, believe it or not. So I was quite grateful for the second opportunity to work with him. And as I say, he came in from me and I went on loan for the first 2 months, loved it and it went really well, and then he said to me, look, we would like to extend the loan rather than signing you on a loan deal, we want to sign you on a permanent. So I had to kind of negotiate to leave Leyton Orient, which we managed to do, but another great club, great people, great set of lads, you know, it's massive in football I think. When I got promoted with Millwall, if you have a good dressing room, you know, I think it can take you far. And again, we got close to promotion with Southend. We got beaten in the playoffs by Barton in the semi-final, but 2 years in a row that I was there, we were in and around the playoffs, you know. So I think it definitely key to it is a good dressing room, and as I said, we had a brilliant dressing room there.
And there's a rumour then that, did you stay with Paul Sturrock for a while?
I did, yeah.
Yeah? What was that like?
It was a bit surreal, to be fair. It was a bit of a strange one. I got a phone call to say when I signed for Yeovil that we're going to put you in some accommodation while you're obviously moving down. So I arrived in the taxi and I remember going to the door and he opened the door and he was like, welcome. And I didn't know what to say, to be honest. He just said, you'll be cooking tea tonight. So I was like, right, okay. And then I went in and thankfully there was another guy there that was one of my teammates, Ben Tozer, who'd played with him as well at Swindon. So I don't know whether because Paul travelled quite a lot from his home back in from down in sort of Torquay way. So he wasn't there every day during the week. He would go home on the days off, and that was similar to myself. So it kind of worked out quite well. He was only really there a day on a Monday, and he would go back on a Tuesday and come back on a Friday night for the game. So it wasn't we were living hand in hand every day with each other. But yeah, it was a good experience, some great tales again. You know, obviously listening to him.
Yeah. Got any funny stories from that kind of setup?
Nah, not really. Yeovil, Southend was very funny players at Southend. We had a boy called Freddie Eastwood who was a right character. He nailed my kit bag to the bench. I came in one day from training and I went to lift I thought I didn't leave my kit bag there, and went to lift it off and I had nail, must have been about 8 or 9 inch long in my bag. So that happened, but there was some really good times. Another boy, he had a club car, and Freddie's idea was it was a smart car. And he said, right lads, if 10 of us can get together, we'll go and move his car, we'll lift his car and we'll put it in this little gap next to the training ground. So stupidly 10 of us went out. A boy called John White was up there eating his lunch. He managed to get his car in this gap, managed to lift it. I don't know how we lifted it, but 10 of us managed to get it in a squeeze in a small gap. So John's come downstairs and he's panicking, where's my car? Inside the entrance where he walked in the main door, his car was tucked away in there. But as I say, he was a very funny character, a great guy again. He was my roommate that I shared with at Southend, so yeah, good guy.
And I guess, when you're playing for clubs in that geographical area, you spend a lot of time travelling as well.
Yeah, obviously Ashley Grange was here previously, so I lived in Manchester. I'm on, my partner and I had our own home in Manchester. She lived there, so because you're travelling so much and you never know how you're going to be between clubs, I always felt it was nice to have a base in one place. So she would stay there, and I ended up living with Ashley for probably quite a long time, which again, he was he's one of my great friends, a really good guy, top player as well, one of the best finishers I've played with. Finishing's frightening, to be honest, but as I say, again, funny times with him. He was very good for me to live with as well. I think we were both good for each other. Plenty of competition and rivalry, a lot of Pro Evolution when we used to play ISS Pro Evolution. So yeah, it was really good.
And you returned the favour, I guess, when the periods played for Edinburgh City.
Yeah.
He would come up and spend a bit of time at yours.
Yeah, he would. I think he decided that he'd like my mum's soup, so Mum would send over a carton of soup on a Thursday afternoon, so that when he came up for his training on a Thursday night, he'd be tucking in his bowl of soup. He'd be waiting for it on a Thursday. So yeah, as I say, yeah, no, it was good. It was really good to have him up in Edinburgh. As I say, he scored some important goals to keep us in the league that year when obviously I think the Berwick Rangers won away, which was massive at the time. So yeah, I think he had a great experience when he was here as well, speaking to him.
You still keep in touch?
I do, speak to him regularly. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, good. And obviously when you joined Edinburgh City 2016, tell us, who got in touch with who? How did that happen?
It was really strange, to be honest. Obviously I'd left Yeovil Town. I couldn't agree a new contract. I had quite a bad hamstring tear, and it was one of those that I had a few offers to go in the conference, and I just didn't feel they were right. And I kind of thought that something would come up back in the Football League, and then nothing came up. So decided to come home and try and start a life in Edinburgh, where I was from originally. And it was I'm very good. There's a gentleman called John Ferguson who is now retired from Manchester City, who kept in touch with me and said to me, I'll try and get you into maybe one or two clubs just to keep fit. So lo and behold, Edinburgh City, local to me. I didn't know that Gary was obviously manager at Edinburgh City, Gary Jordan, who had played with my brother. So I knew Gary from a long time ago. I was 10-year-old and watching Armadale Thistle on a Saturday and cheering them on, as I say. So Gary kindly gave me the opportunity to come along and use the facilities with Edinburgh City, and as I say, it was very, I can't explain it. It was just, everybody made me feel so welcome from the start. They were amazing, all the boys that were at the club. Really good set of lads. Again, very important to have a good dressing room, and they certainly had that.
And from 2016 onwards, I suppose you have James as the gaffer, I guess, and there's been a few changes of personnel in terms of squad, and squads evolve as you well know over the years. How do you feel it's went from when you came in with Gary and to where you are now, and also on a personal level, in terms of your, the appearances that you've made, your fitness, etc.
Yeah, the club have been fantastic. To me, from day one, since I've joined, the club have been brilliant. As I say, the environment they provide for everybody at this football club is fantastic. The manager obviously has implemented so much of that in terms of his knowledge of being in an environment every day, working full-time footballers. He's been brilliant with me again. As I say, I think he's got a big career in him in the future as well as now. I can see him going on and doing big things. I think he's been brilliant for the club. I think Gary was brilliant while he was here. As I say, but James has come in and I think pushed it to that next level. Obviously, his knowledge of players as well that he's brought in. The squad has grown and has become stronger, which has been exciting. Obviously, the second year was very hard. It was very difficult. We did struggle. But as I say, the recruitment that the manager's put in place to bring the players in that he's brought in is only positive, and all I can see for this football club is positive things, from off the field and on the field. They've been, as I say, brilliant with me. My ambition is to help this club to achieve promotion and promotion again and promotion again, and see where it takes the club. One day I would love to see the club in the Premier League. It's a local club to me. I'm born and bred in Edinburgh, so as I say, I'm a Hearts fan. So this is now my club, which is Edinburgh City, and as I say, it's great. I love coming in here. I love coming to see all the lads, and as I say, it's a very friendly club, and as I say, I think everything the club have done off the field as well, it's moving forward, and it's brilliant to be part of.
So 120 appearances all told in, you think you can quite easily get to the 200 mark, all things being equal?
I would hope so. I've just got to make sure that I keep maintaining off the field the things that I do to help me recover. I get a bit of stick from the boys for my cycling on a Friday. But as I say, for me, that's my routine. I enjoy it. As I say, I never dread coming into here. I really like coming here. So my aim is to keep as fit as I possibly can. And as I say, just help as much as I can. If I can pass my experience on to the younger boys as well, that's important as well. Because as I say, I've been fortunate enough to play with some top players throughout my career who have obviously passed their knowledge on to me, and I'd like to be able to do the same.
And recently we have seen the bench filled with a lot of the under-20s players.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever get the chance that to kind of just talk some stuff through with them? Just explain what to expect from the game, when to take their chance.
Yeah, I'm quite a quiet person. I quite kind of keep myself to myself. In terms of if someone comes up to me and asks me my opinion, I'll always give them advice. I don't like to be the person that kind of tells them what they need to do, but maybe if I see something, I'll always maybe say to someone, look, maybe you could do that a little bit better. As I say, it's important. I think the younger boys, as I say, have got to keep learning from experienced people, because as I say, it can help them. And it keeps them grounded as well, because at the end of the day, they're here to learn. They're trying to progress in the game. And said I've been fortunate enough to play the amount of games I've played so far in my career. But as I say, they just need to keep taking it in like a sponge. Someone said to me one day that you need to be a sponge and just soaking up all the information you possibly can, because it will hopefully push you on in your career.
And all things being equal, what have you given yourself a target of, an age that you want to continue playing till? You keep yourself very fit. I know that you look after yourself immaculately in terms of diet, fitness. Is there something you kind of say, well, I'd like to get to that stage anyway, at least, and then some?
I just think take it season by season, you know. You look at the top players, Frank Lampard and players like that. Andy Cole was at Man City when he was 38 and still amazing, you know. As I say, I'm just wanting to make sure that I stay as fit as I possibly can and try and play as many games as I possibly can as well.